Look at that. There we are. Welcome to the former land known as South Carolina, which is now a frozen wasteland of death and destruction. Everywhere you look. Are we frozen? We're doing good?
I think we're freezing every once in a while.
Freezing every once in a while.
Damn it.
Not only are we freezing right now, we are freezing on the stream. Let's see here. Let us know you can see us and hear us and everything. Joe's going to try to adjust some stuff. I have my mega hipster look tonight. Loud and clear. I think you can. Awesome. Even the data is frozen. Yes. I'm going to pop on, see what's going on with our internet. Yeah. So we have some ice headed our way. We are not looking forward to it. But as you can see, we have changed our titling here. Well, let's see. Joe's disappeared. Joe just went off to hopefully fix that, but we'll see. We'll see. All right. Clear audio, clear video. Everything's good. We are all freaking freezing. I know, man. It is out of nowhere. And then I have a gripe. I have a gripe, of course. When do I not have a gripe? It really grinds my gears. So I have attempted to go see Ghost. This will be my third attempt. Monday, I think it might be just your thing over here, by the way. What'd you do? Cut everything off?
Yeah.
All right. I have tried to go see the band Ghost 3 times at this point. And every time there has been inclement weather of some kind that had taken me out of going. And look, Monday, we're doing it again.
Yes, indeed.
So, yep. So there we go. But until then, we're happy to be here with you all. We're here to hang out with you guys. And we have a ton of cool stuff to talk about. Fourth time's a charm. Yeah, I'm not trying a fourth time. I'm done after this. I'm going to try to pause some stuff if you want to.
I'm just going to sit here tonight. I don't really feel like doing much tonight. So
Great. Thanks, Joe.
There we go. Judah Bent, thank you. Welcome to the membership. We appreciate your support. We are not big corporate Bigfooters. We are community supported. We're turning down those meaty Temu. Man, Temu's like after us. Like
They're coming hard.
they're coming hard.
They're coming hard.
We're getting like 2 or 3 emails a day for like a Temu sponsorship.
Yeah.
So
and
anyway,
they offer a lot of money for everything being.
That's
so
how
cheap.
they get their hooks in you, though.
What do you think it is? Do you think that we could be bought and paid for by the communist Chinese Bigfoot monopoly?
Big Chinese. Anyway, welcome
Chinese
to the
Bigfoot.
membership. And speaking of members, Stormy Starless Sea.
Yes.
Love me some Hellbent Holler. Hope everyone stays safe through this apparent winter storm that's coming. Can I get a screaming man sound?
But of course.
Can you get a screaming man sound?
We've got some new stuff on the soundboard tonight that we have added in. I know I've not been here for 2 weeks at this point.
Yeah.
It's been 2 weeks
I've
without.
been holding the ship now.
It's the first day you had to do it, but we were both not here last week. We've been working on a project. We're going to kind of talk about that project coming up because it pertains to our show tonight. Little screaming man for Stormy. Love it. We're going to talk a little bit about what we have been working on pretty tirelessly for the past couple of weeks now. And we finally put the finishing touches on. We're really excited about you all seeing it.
Thank you for that. Oki's been coming on hard for us, man. We appreciate that, Oki. And then Haunting Cryptids. Let's get this party started. We will get this party started.
I was going to open up with greetings to the haters, the taters, and those who rebuild carburetors. But I got a little discombobulated with our internet not working.
And then
Lady Wolf.
the Guardian at the Gates.
Guardian at the Gates.
The Hellbent
Lady Wolf
Holler.
herself.
Our wolf on a, I don't want to say a chain because Lady Wolf's not chained. Hellbent Holler's wolf. Wolf.
Lady Fenris.
Anyway, so we've got the storm barreling down on us right now. And I don't know, man. It's you guys might not see us at all next week if we get 2+ inches of ice in this area. That is going to be like a bomb went off, baby. That is going to be power lines down. That is going to be a week or so without electricity. We might be able to go from the Starlink and stuff like that.
But, that'd be the only way we could do it.
Like this area, like is still hanging on from a thread after Helene.
We live in a very old town with very terrible infrastructure.
I was driving home this evening looking at like, because it's on my mind now, looking at like how many of our power poles are still just kind of leaning, and I'm going, a little bit of ice that's coming down. That is coming down. So if we get 2 inches of ice, that is going to be apocalyptic.
Oh yeah.
Mickey Richards is in the upstate of South Carolina.
Yeah.
Start picking out your neighbors you want to eat, because everybody's going to have to resort to cannibalism.
Yeah, I already changed our overlay there with our little lower thirds. Joe Doyle has already resorted to cannibalism. Sorry, Jim. Jesse Doyle is future post-apocalyptic.
Listen, in retrospect, maybe I resorted a little too early, but who's to judge me? You weren't here.
You're a man who likes to be prepared.
Indeed, indeed. So,
and you stepped on me reading mine, like as usual. Oh yeah.
Alaskan Carry Gaming. Gaming is added in now. Welcome for the Emergency Vienna Sausage Fund. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Quartz Master Joe screaming. I've got some other stuff for the soundboard too that we'll probably play at some point during this. So over the past few weeks, I have been deep in the editing cave, working on our latest major project. I think you guys are really, really going to love it. We spent 2 months with our boy MK of Strange Backcountry, out in the Sumter National Forest, digging deep into all of the crazy happenings out there. We experienced a lot of interesting stuff that seems like it ramped up over the period that we were out there, but we were out there pretty consistently, off and on, for 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
We'd go out there and camp for a few days and just really hit the, I don't want to say hit the bricks, but is it not working?
We might be freezing up. This is what worries me, is that the infrastructure in this area is so crappy.
Yeah.
After Helene, and then after all those like powerful storms we got, and now ice coming. I mean, this is going to do the wham jam on us there. Yeah. Duke Tucker, stay safe in this winter storm. I'm down in Edgefield County, South Carolina, just waiting for the power to go out. Yeah, that power is it's going to be bananas.
Mad Axe Man, my dude.
I just want to call him Mad Axe Man.
Mad Axe Man.
But $4.99. Thank you for that, my friend. We appreciate it. We appreciate it.
So,
Patty G putting a new terror into my heart here, praying for your new roof to stay intact. Yeah, I wasn't even worried about that. Thanks, Patty. No, but thank you, Patty. We appreciate your support there. But we are going to, yes, everybody that's in the South, just going to be ready. It's hard to tell what's going on. Like our big local weather guy is like the most like.
His name is Chris Justice, and he's a bad man. It is an ongoing joke around here that he's the worst meteorologist you have ever seen, but he's still the main meteorologist of the area. And it's everybody just, he sensationalizes stuff and turns it into like clickbait every time. And he still has a job somehow and doesn't tell us the truth about what is happening. It's big weather cover up is what it is.
Although they think that Jim Cantor is going to be heading.
I hope not.
That means we're in for it if he is coming.
We're in for it.
Jim Cantor is the guy from the people who live in like, is there anyone normal that doesn't have extreme weather events nowadays? I don't know. Yeah. But Jim Cantor is the guy from the Weather Channel that always like shows up somewhere right before the category like 8 hurricane comes and just like causes like massive destruction.
Yeah.
There's a rumor he's heading into this area. So that will be
the kiss of death.
The kiss of death for us, indeed. So
anyway, let's get back to Bigfoot, or we have more little super chats and stuff like that. Did you get through all the housekeeping?
Got through all of the housekeeping.
All right, let's get back to Bigfoot and stop talking about ice storms. How about that? All right, guys.
We're a weather channel now. You know what I'm saying? So
we probably have less stress.
Yeah, no doubt. So
yeah. So back to what I was saying, we have been off and on in the Sumter National Forest we were there through November and December. All the way through the very end of December.
Yeah, so we're pretty lucky with where we are because we're very centrally located to a lot of like hotspots in the American South. Some of them are closer than others. For our first big documentary release that we did with the Small Town Monsters group, we did the Uwharrie National Forest. We had a recent witness case that had been brought to us courtesy of our field producer, MK. And we were able to get up there and capture some pretty good evidence. We ran into some trials and tribulations with the first UWARI documentary and the expedition. We were getting crazy weather, and then that caused a lot of delays, and then that's pushed us back into warmer weather. And then the venomous snake issue up there was bananas. It was like copperheads and rattlesnakes like nobody had ever seen, and that put another wrinkle in another layer of difficulty into doing it.
Because every time we would try to go into certain areas, now anytime you're around copperheads in sort of like a cluster of copperheads, they emit this smell that smells like cucumbers. And so we would be out in the UWARI, we're trying to hike around, we're trying to investigate these areas. It's the middle of the night, you have zero visibility because the brush is so thick and everything already. And then you just get hit with this overwhelming cucumber smell and you have no idea where these copperheads are. So that kind of put a damper on us going out and investigating some of these areas. But we prevailed. We went through, so there's a lot of new places that we're going to check out for the next UWARI.
Yeah.
But we had a lot of challenges when it came to filming that documentary. I think everybody overwhelmingly enjoyed it, but it was definitely a learning experience for us to go through the process of filming that. And then the process of organizing all of that footage and then somehow getting it down and really distilling it down to the really important parts. So for this expedition,
we decided to focus on the Sumter National Forest. Mm-hmm. We were coming up on the 1-year anniversary of that big Bigfoot sighting in Newberry, South Carolina, which is in that same area. Like we've talked about in the past, a police officer was hunting on a power line cut and had a pretty up close Bigfoot sighting, and that went national, that went viral.
Yeah.
And that area got descended upon by TikTokers and, just thrill seekers and whatnot. And it caused some local resentment because they were in hunting season, and hunting season got messed with quite a bit by people showing up, tramping around the woods. So we were coming up on the 1-year anniversary of it. We figured there'd been enough time. It was around the same time of year, but enough time had passed that maybe, the hubbub had died down.
It was actually exactly 1 year later that we started this whole thing.
And we went into the Sumter National Forest looking for Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And
through the process of doing that, we discovered that there seems to be some kind of pattern emerging.
There's a pattern, and there are patterns that people always talk about with Bigfoot, but a lot of them are
anecdotal based?
Well, yeah, they're anecdotal, and I have a problem with, I was talking about this the other day.
This is your gripe moment.
As far as witness encounters go, I find a lot of pre 2005 witnesses more credible before the advent of social media Bigfoot groups and stuff like that.
That social media Bigfoot culture.
Yeah.
You have large groups on Facebook where people will kind of gather and then they start to attempt to outdo each other. It seems to be that there's some sort of social contagion when it comes to having encounters. And then they seem to get more fantastical. That's not to discount people who have encounters that seem extreme or fantastical on the surface or whatever they experience. But it seems like there are people that are explaining that they're having meetings with these creatures.
Well, the thing is,
they're going to their homes. They're coming in, the creatures are coming into their homes.
People will always say, why would somebody make that up? They don't stand to benefit from that. And I'm like, yeah, they kind of do, if they're looking for social acceptance in a small Bigfoot community. But anyway, a lot of these patterns that you see are anecdotal, and you never know whether they're true patterns or if they're just people repeating the stuff that they heard.
Yeah.
The thing that I always go back to is the spider crawl that people talk about with Bigfoot.
Uh-huh.
You never really heard that much. And then it hit some of the larger podcasts like Sasquatch Chronicles. And then
that's where I first heard about that sort of like behavior that people were describing.
Yeah.
Was Sasquatch Chronicles.
So, and people heard that, and then all of a sudden it just had a tendency to, you were hearing it left and right. And you don't know whether it was people feeling more comfortable to come forward. And I'm going, well, they're already talking about Bigfoot, you know, and you hear some pretty crazy details come out. I don't think it was that. And you have to, being involved in this, you have to know that sometimes not every encounter that you hear about is 100% factual.
Yeah.
It's just not. But so those are data points that you can kind of pay attention to, but you don't, I don't bet the farm on them. But what's interesting for us is that we're starting to develop an identifiable pattern on, let's just call it Bigfoot activity, because we're operating under the assumption that there's a Bigfoot, you know.
You can call it Bigfoot activity. You can also call it kind of where the activity centers around.
Yeah.
You know, these we're seeing commonalities in the landscapes in which we are experiencing what would be considered Bigfoot activity,
Yeah.
whether it be vocalizations, you know, recurring footprints, consistently finding that. And then in this documentary that we have coming out soon, we find a amazing piece of physical evidence left behind.
So we're starting to see things that we've been kind of like going, we think this is a pattern. We're starting to get some like definitive pattern recognition going.
It's starting to be kind of consistent too.
Yeah, it's being very consistent. And so some of the things that we're seeing is, and it's stuff that, you know, there's that running joke about the Hellbent Holler bingo card, you know, quartz, old homesteads, blah, blah, blah. Some of the things we're seeing, it's very, 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 it's like clockwork.
Yeah.
Between some of these areas that we're going in. And now it's not anecdotal. It's, okay, we've been experiencing this ourselves for years, being involved in this like hunt for, you know, Bigfoot evidence, proving Bigfoot is out there, trying to catch video evidence, audio evidence. And so we're starting to see some real like definable patterns at this point. That it's starting to go outside of we're starting to go beyond just going, oh, we think there's a pattern here, to there is a pattern here.
Yeah.
One of the things that we've been seeing,
and it's kind of being defined by just a few points. It's not like we're seeing a widespread pattern of 50 different factors. We're seeing a lot of very specific points over and over and over again. And it's getting narrowed down to just a few points at this point.
At least in this region. And not everybody is in our region. Not everybody's in the Southern Appalachians. I realize that. But we are seeing some and even now, what's even more interesting is we are seeing some definite variations from location to location. So it's not, it doesn't move in lockstep. It's not the exact same phenomenon in the Uwaris as it is in the Sumter, as it is in North Georgia, as it is in Blackthorn, as it is in all these spots. But we're starting to see some commonalities that seem like they show up quite a bit. Now, one of the ones that we talk about quite a bit is the presence of former human habitation, old homesteads, remnants of infrastructure of when people lived in that particular area. And in most cases, they were removed because the land was turned into a national forest, state park, anything like that. But it seems like the activity clusters around these locations where homesteads used to be, farms used to be, old plantations used to be. We see that. One of the other things that we're seeing that finally kind of clicked and made sense with us in the Sumter National Forest portion of it is throughout the American South, especially wherever there's like public land, there's usually little slivers of private land that has not been absorbed into the public like domain at this point. Little holdouts. And there's a particular word for it. I can't remember what it is. You probably remember what it is. What is it? There's a word for like a piece of private land that's surrounded by public land.
I don't know the word for that. Somebody in the brain trust will know.
Somebody in the brain trust will know. It's on the tip of my tongue, but
we'll call it an island.
What we've noticed is there appears to be clusters of possible Bigfoot activity. It's a cluster of some sort of activity. We assume that it's Bigfoot.
We're going to operate here with the assumption that what we're dealing with is Bigfoot, because I mean, at any point in time with any of this, you can always go, no, it's actually a murder slug. You know, you can always go, oh, it's a murder slug. So we're going to operate through this entire conversation under the impression that
Eyes in the Woods, thank you so much for that.
Thank you,
We
Eyes in the
appreciate
Woods.
you. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. Thank you for sharing with everyone beyond those who can be members. You guys are great about this. Yeah, our content has these documentaries are going to be released publicly, but they're going to be released on the Small Town Monsters thing. So that's kind of taken our public stuff right now. And then obviously the Monday shows. The next big expedition we're going to do is going to be a public one.
Yeah.
Some of the weirder stuff we've been doing members because it's difficult to kind of talk about, but
you don't want to get a Reddit post.
Don't want to get another Reddit post on us,
You don't
but
wanna
thank
get
you for that,
another-
Eyes in the Woods. That is
Thank
extremely
you.
kind of you. And we appreciate the living
I'm trying to catch up on the chat room.
crap out of you. And then our boy Ray,
Melendez,
my favorite
says,
cryptid couple, next leveling the bar, chomping at the bit for the new dog. Hey, you helping us. Thank you, Ray.
Joe has seen the new dog.
I've seen the new dog. It's pretty damn good.
It's pretty damn good.
So let me get back to my point, is that we are seeing clusters of Bigfoot activity in areas where it's like a patchwork of public and private land. You'll see it in the doc. The first kind of like pretty compelling evidence we find is right on the boundary of a national forest and then privately held land. And you can even see it, I think, in that clip. You'll see some boundary markings there where they have got some ribbons around trees to mark where the private land starts at. And I'm going, well, this is noticeable. We're seeing it at that kind of juxtaposition between public land and private land.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of dawned on us. Obviously, these things can't read maps, but they're intelligent. There has to be some sort of intelligence here.
They are obviously capable of observing people in its environment.
And they notice that, wow, the majority of the people don't go past these weird marks on the trees to that patch of woods over there. And there's only a few people over there, and we can kind of gauge when they're going to be there. They're there on the weekends or maybe just a few months out of the year or whatever. These things have got to be very, very good at pattern recognition in order for them to stay hidden the way they are. And I've always struggled with the fact that a large hominid that appears to be everywhere can't be definitively proved. And that's kind of led me into some kind of woo-like directions in the past. And now doing this and seeing this, and you don't really see this sitting around a campfire talking with a bunch of other Bigfoot enthusiasts. You see this when you're out on foot, just following it, out on foot, trying to follow the activity, trying to see where it goes to. And I noticed, well, man, if I was trying to stay hidden, and I knew that I've got this big wide open range to kind of go around in, but there's more people there. But they don't seem to go into this particular little valley, or they don't seem to go into this little particular set of woods. There's only people here sometimes.
Right.
And I'm going to like figure it out. It's having that ability to recognize. It doesn't know it's private property. It just knows it's very...
People get to this point and they stop.
It's seldomly visited little patches of forest that they can go to and stay hidden from people that are, you know, in the more heavily traveled public sectors of land.
Now, often in the Sumter National Forest, these areas are owned by logging companies. And that's the case also in the Uwharrie. So a lot of this property is not visited by the owners of it. Big, huge swaths of it are just left for the trees to grow. They log it, they let the trees grow back, you know, and then they log it again. So they don't come out there. But there are patches of land that are inhabited by people who have lived there their whole lives.
Yeah.
Their families have lived there. People said the land is grandfathered in. I
Yeah,
don't know if that's
exactly.
you know.
Cannon, one of our OGs, one of our OGs. Hey guys, glad to see y'all on the Men and doing well. Glad to see you, Cannon. Thank you for supporting us, my band. But what we're seeing is that makes sense when you realize it and you see it and you go, that's what appears to be happening here. And that's logical, because if I was out in those woods hiding, and even if I'd never seen a map before and I had no concept of a property line, I have none of that at all, just by observing and paying attention to, and let's just be honest, because Bigfoot treats us as a predator. because that's what it does. It's predator aversion is what's happening. And you see that. I still don't think Bigfoot's a monkey or an ape, but you do see other primates that have learned behavior to avoid humans because they know that humans are dangerous.
Yeah.
Okay. So it becomes ingrained in them. It becomes instinctual to hide away from humans. So obviously, whatever Sasquatch is, it's got to be smarter than your average monkey. And
Or bear.
it knows, hey, I can come over here and get food, get water, hunt. Obviously, it's omnivorous, you know. But then when I need to get away from people, they don't go past this particular patch of woods and I can be safe there. And you know what? I think that is something that has maybe really hindered a lot of people that are out looking for this thing.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just going, man, again, it's almost like a criminal back in the day when you could make it across that county or state line and the cops couldn't catch you.
Not in your jurisdiction.
Not your jurisdiction. It's getting out of your jurisdiction as a Bigfoot hunter, and you can't follow it unless you can trespass, and we don't trespass. You know, public land's fair game, but we're not.
Especially some of the areas that we investigate. Can you imagine if we trespassed in some of those places? This part of our bodies would not be attached to this part of our bodies anymore.
But again, look at this. That makes sense, man. It makes sense that,
and that's something we didn't really think of up until this point when we were in the middle of this investigation. You're like looking at this, it's like, wow, you know, we found some interesting evidence right there on that border area.
And we're looking at it, and I'm just going, man, if I was out here
and observed that there's consistently.
Yeah,
that human beings would stop at this point
and we
never
started
go beyond it.
We started thinking back to some other areas that we've been in, and we're going, man, it seems like the activity clusters around, and our man Scorpius, of course, in holding. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, that's all right on there.
And it makes sense.
Yep.
That's a pattern that's logical. Okay, that's a pattern that you go.
That's something observable,
and that's something that, again, you go back to that old, you know, criminal in the 1950s trying to get away from the cops. You get across that state line, they can't follow.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's something that makes sense. You're seeing something that Bigfoot can't be stupid. Otherwise, it wouldn't stay hidden. It'd be getting hit by trucks. You're seeing something that can observe its surroundings, can observe people,
interpret what they're watching,
anticipate what they're going to do by observing them over a long period of time. And that aids them in staying hidden at this point.
To that point, where the Sploot says hiding in plain sight is a skill that requires intelligence, cunning, strategy, and tactics.
Mm-hmm. And it starts to... I had a moment when I was in Blackthorn a few weeks ago, and I saw a piece of quartz off the road. And I followed up in there and I went through some stuff. And then I go, man, there's like a big, deep gully back here that you couldn't see from the road. And I just had this moment of going, I'm kind of an idiot and I could stay hidden out here, you know, from casual observers. I could stay hidden out here.
And you could also use that to defeat what technology is used in the search.
Yeah, absolutely.
For these things.
And again, because that's all Bigfoot really has to do is dodge casual observers. I always go back to that Eric Rudolph thing and how the Eric Rudolph, the bomber, there was one of the largest, that might have been the largest manhunt in American history. The full weight of the FBI was on there.
There was quite a sizable.
Was it $1 million, $2 million, something like that?
Yeah, it was like $1 million, I think,
and
that was like $1997.
Yeah, and
this is part of our presentation that we did for Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Conference last year about the Appalachian Sasquatch, and it's
$1 million.
$1 million,
and then it got increased up, and that's sort of like those resources have never been brought to bear on Bigfoot. The people that are going to encounter
Good night,
Bigfoot,
Lady Wolf. I hope you feel better. She's
night, Lady
migraine.
Wolf. But the people that are out looking for Bigfoot are well, let's just get right down to it. There's not a lot of people out looking for Bigfoot.
Right.
Even a lot of the people who say they're Bigfoot researchers don't really leave the campfire.
That funnel is a real thing. You've got people who are interested in Bigfoot, people who do research into Bigfoot. Now we're going to get to a smaller group, people who say they do research
and then people
field investigations, people who actually do field investigations, and then people who go beyond the wood line.
Who don't spend all their time talking to witnesses, who are just like, where do we think it's at? Out here, let's get our packs and let's go. And even then, when we're out, when it's even you, me, and MK, there's a third person involved with it. We're covering such a small section of the forest.
It's just a tiny little scratch through the forest.
And we're slow and we're loud, no matter how quiet we try to be. And
there
we're
is
clumsy.
No being quiet.
And if something is adapted to that terrain and is faster than we are with more heightened senses, I could stay just out of reach like all day long. It's making sense now. And we're starting to see a pattern of adaptive behavior. It's come up in a few places now. And in Sumter, is where it really kind of drove that nail home for us. That there's some sort of vocalization, either for communication reasons or just as I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not instinctive. It appears to be that there's some sort of vocalizations going on, but they're using man-made noises to cover it. One of the things we've really seen is that, especially post-COVID, the airplane traffic, especially small planes, have really increased in the American South. The population has grown. A lot of people have moved here. They come here because of the lower cost of living. And there's a pretty decent amount of people with privately owned small aircraft.
Yeah.
And they fly them all the time. And what we're noticing is that's when the vocalizations are taking place. I had a real hard time the other night trying to separate some possible they weren't possible. They were vocalizations.
Yeah.
We heard them. But trying to separate them from on the audio that we recorded, there's a plane overhead. It was very difficult to do. And we keep noticing that these things are making vocalizations when there's like acoustic cover taking place.
And this is always man-made cover that they are adapting to and using to their advantage. We have witnessed this occurring in the Uwharrie, in Blackthorn, and now the Sumter National Forest. I did bring up a funny meme because I just imagine, you, I, and MK are out in the woods, badass monster hunters out there. We're falling down ravines. We're stumbling through everything. We're tripping over stuff. We're babbling like idiots.
Yeah.
And I just see a Bigfoot up on the hill looking down at us like this. Pathetic.
Pathetic. But here's the deal, though. You can go out there and try to be as stealthy and as quiet as you want to. We're still not designed, especially modern humans, are not designed to be quiet in the woods.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can tiptoe through the tulips all we want, but we're still.
And even if you were able to travel without sound and you were able to kill most of your scent, there's a reason why it's starting to become apparent we're dealing with something that has devoted itself for so long to avoiding humanity. It's really freaking good at it. You know what I'm saying? It's really good at it. And most of the time we see animals because they don't really give two craps. You know what I'm saying? Even if they're trying to hide from us a little bit, I guess maybe they know they can get away with from us, but but a lot of times, a lot of animals just don't care,
Yeah.
You're dealing with something intelligent that knows we're there long before we know it's there, if we ever know it's there, but knows we're coming from away. And if you're dealing with something that, here's a good example. Take a big turtle and put a boombox on its back. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's a cool turtle.
And then go, hey, Joe and Jesse, y'all need to stay hidden from this turtle. And I'm going to go, oh, you mean that thing that's really loud and moving really, really slow and we're in the woods? Yeah, we'll be able to stay hidden from it. Not a problem. And we could. Why would we want to stay hidden from Boombox Turtle? That's a good point.
Boombox Turtle? Is he a box turtle?
Boombox turtle. But it is.
That's my one for the night.
Boombox turtle. But I need to do that presentation. I was toying with the idea of taking that presentation.
I marked that because I was like, yeah, Joe, what are you doing?
What are you doing with your life,
you
Joe?
loser? Why didn't you have this presentation done?
But I was thinking about doing it into a book form.
I think
Wouldn't that be great to have a non-AI written Bigfoot book? Wow, that's pretty cool.
People do that.
People do that.
People don't just use AI to write all the
I made a comment
little books.
I made a comment the other day going, we don't have clean water or cheap electricity, so people can like write these like AI written Bigfoot books.
Y'all better get to book learning, because once they cut off that free AI, we're gonna know.
Yeah. So
we're gonna know who you are.
But we're dealing with something that is just orders of magnitude better at us in that environment.
Mm-hmm.
And it's obviously smart enough to recognize patterns, even if it doesn't ultimately know the reason for those patterns or the deeper meaning behind those patterns. It doesn't understand private property. It may have no clue what a plane is. All it knows is that, hey, when we have this noise, it kind of covers our vocalizations. We can hear it, but they have a hard time hearing it. So that's when we do it. And we're starting to realize that there's something to that Bigfoot trope of them watching people.
The watchers.
Of them watching people at campsites, watching people who live on the boundaries of national forests, watching people who live in those inholdings, private property surrounded by public.
You got a new word. I like
a
that.
New word. So
so through the course of our investigation through this, I started using the term human theater for that. Now that's sort of referring to it as possibly this is something that they're observing human beings out of a curiosity for an entertainment value. But there's also the possibility that they're watching us because we are a threat to them.
I think that's why they're doing it. I mean, we got Moondog in here.
Moondog
Day.
You know who we were thinking about last night?
Who's that?
And we tried to Beetlejuice him today.
William Kennedy. Where's William Kennedy at? Yeah,
let's all together. Let's all hold hands.
Let's all hold hands and think.
Let's all manifest.
Moondog is here. Now we just need William Kennedy.
Manifest William Kennedy.
So I don't think it's human theater. I don't think that they need it for entertainment.
Right.
I think they're watching people and they're coming up.
Because we're an existential threat to their existence.
And I think that they need to know where we're at. I think they need to observe just like you would observe like enemy forces. See what their movements are. See when they get up. See how far they go from camp. See how they do that. And one of the things we
when they take their poops.
One of the things we noticed at in Sumter is obviously we're there looking for Bigfoot. One night we were there and there were a couple other people camped near us. And we heard some crazy vocalizations from the woods. Nobody else batted an eye. They were kind of in the distance, but you didn't hear them stop talking. You didn't see them like look around. You didn't see anything. They just carried on like joking and laughing around and just people around a campfire. And I'm going, it's not that dangerous for them a lot of times, at least in these instances, to really come up and observe because people aren't paying attention. They're just not paying attention. And I think that that's what they're doing. I think they come up. And I think that when people go, oh, they like to observe us. I don't know if they like to observe us. I think they feel they need to observe us to learn our patterns, see where we're at. And here's the deal. If they go, well, we know that there's 4 people camping here. Let's creep up and look. 1, 2, all 4 of them are there. Cool. We can run around and do whatever we need to do tonight. We know where they are. Okay. And I think that's part of it. I think that's part of the secret to being able to stay hidden is knowing where we're at, keeping tabs on us. You always hear about people being paced or followed in the woods. And we've had that happen to us. I had that happen to me in the Grove one night when I was out there solo without you. It sounded like something followed me out of the woods.
I always love those moments when you're doing solos out there and you feel like something's nearby, you're pacing, you're tracking you or something like that. Because you start to get a little madness to you and you start to get confrontational.
Yeah, well,
you're not getting me.
But I think that they're doing that, and that's a survival mechanism. It's not curiosity based. It's they have to know where we're at. That's so ingrained into them. It's not even second nature, it's first nature at this point, you know?
Yeah.
All right, there's a human in the woods. We need somebody to follow him and tell us where he's going to, and just make sure that he doesn't, you know, kind of do whatever. And I think maybe sometimes people start to hit into the wrong areas at the wrong time.
And I don't think there's so much of a curiosity factor there too, because they've already seen us do all the stuff we're going to do. You know, they're fully aware of our existence, what we get up to, what we're capable of. I mean, we're going with the assumption that we've been kind of on this planet together at the same time, this whole time, right?
Eric, a buddy Eric, question for Joe and Jesse. Do you ever measure frequency spikes when activity ramps up, such as monitoring the 1.6, some at the 1.6 gigahertz phenomenon? We actually had that happen, and we had to have people tell us about the Skinwalker Ranch thing. We saw it, and actually we saw it, and then I heard that Joe and Ron from Wild Weird, West Virginia had experienced it. And then it might have been Joe and Ron that told me. No, it was one of the Hellbenders that told me about it. And then when I talked to Joe and Ron, they're going, yeah, the people in Skinwalker Ranch have seen it too. We have been.
I can see Ron just going.
We have been more focused on the video, audio, and thermal aspect of it recently. So we haven't been carrying a lot of the weird tech out with us.
Because it's you have to make kind of a choice there of what you're going to focus on. Because if you got too many plates spinning, you're not doing a good job at any of them. So if we're running, detection equipment, and then we're also trying to run cameras, and audio, and thermal, we're going to stick with what we're good at and what we're trying to.
Well, I do have an idea that
we're trying to
I do have an idea to try to get some multi-sensor stuff going at the same time on the go. I just haven't had a chance to do it with the well, you're famous for stepping in scat. And then our buddy from 40 in Tennessee, you've described exactly what we think is going on at our primary research spot. And it's, we've heard some of this stuff from people before, but there's a lot of stories in this field. Now we're starting to personally witness, and more importantly, film, catch on camera. So it's not just us telling it to you. It's not just us blowing a bunch of hot air. It's us going, here's video of us in this spot, and this is what happened to us. And this is very similar to this other part of the South where we were in, and here's video of us in this location, and here's this happening to us. We are starting to really figure out that depressions in the land,
often caused by human, often these depressions in the land, these fissures of the land, these major changes of the land, are often caused by human interaction with the land and their impact on the land. This is not what this terrain looked like 400, 500 years ago. The terrain is completely different than what it looked like 500 years ago.
But I think that there is some very strategic thinking going on, and it's the only thing I don't understand is there apparently is a recognition and understanding of some of the tools that we use. I mean, firearms would be easy.
Right. We
see a human, they're carrying this long stick. We hear a noise, that deer dropped down dead. Okay, stay away from the long sticks.
Boomstick bad.
But that's the one thing that I'm confused by, is that how is there a basic understanding of what cameras do? Why are they masking their vocalizations so much?
Because with cameras, they don't see the before and after. They don't see the effect of the cause and effect factor there. They don't know that this is going to go to another location where the data is going to be dumped, and it's going to be an image of them. With firearms, you have the cause and effect very apparent right there before you. You can watch that happen in real time. So there's no seeing of the effect from the cause.
That's what I don't understand. And it seems like, at least with the audio portion of it, we can hear the vocalizations with our ears. It's just that when we try to record it, we're running into the interference from the aircraft going by overhead. But it almost seems like that's being done on purpose to not let us get a good audio sample, because then we can't prove they're there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but that seems like that's the audio collection seems like it's the least infallible of all of them.
Eyes in the Woods, thank you again. Have a good night.
Thank you, Eyes in the Woods.
Have a good night.
it seems like the audio collection is the least infallible of all of them at this point. Like I think Timothy Renner said at one point, it's almost as if they will allow you to hear and record them, but they won't allow you to capture them on video. There's almost like a level of that. Or is that just the weakest point that they have?
I don't even think that's the case anymore, because I'm starting to, I mean, think how many times we've been out there and we've heard vocalizations and then there's a plane overhead.
Yeah.
I think that maybe back in the day it was easier to get audio.
So this is a new adaptation.
It's adaptation. You're seeing something adapt in a fairly short amount of time.
Yeah.
Okay. You're seeing something adapt in a fairly short amount of time. Maybe that's why there's no modern day, when I say modern day, like within the past few years, examples of something like the Sierra sounds, because they've gotten smarter. They've observed people more.
Mm-hmm.
That's confusing too. How is this information being transmitted from member of the species, and from generation to generation? That you're talking a form of basic civilization at that point.
Yeah.
You know, if you're able to,
maybe we got a mole.
we got a Bigfoot passing information from the inside. So,
you don't know.
But
you don't know this. You saw the guy that redid the floor in here.
So that's the thing, is that
he could be the mole. He could be the mole.
And I'm not saying this explains anything, because as you can tell right now, this is just causing more questions to be answered. But we're starting to identify patterns. And when you identify these patterns, you can adapt to these patterns, much like the Bigfoot appear to be doing. Mm-hmm. They're seeing patterns in human behavior, and they're adapting their own actions in order to stay hidden.
Would you suggest it's
let me finish this thought.
Go.
So we need to do what we're doing. We need to not just follow along with Bigfoot tropes that are repeated on Facebook groups, not listen to just people on podcasts who may or may not be telling factual encounters. We need more people out there. I hate boots on the ground. I hate that term. It's just been ruined. But
toes in the mud,
toes in the poo,
and
out looking and seeing this. And just like they're witnessing human behavior and adapting, we need to recognize what they're doing and adapt our own actions. Okay. Some of it's going to be insurmountable. Okay. We can't move like Bigfoot can move through the woods. So we've got to figure out ways to get around that. They've apparently figured out ways to get around what we can do. Hey, they don't come into this little patch of forest. Let's go there. Hey, they can't follow us that quickly through these ravines. That's how we lose them. Mm-hmm. You know, I think that's the next step.
And defeat their thermals as well.
I think that's the next step in this.
So would you suggest that we're in some sort of arms race with the Bigfoot?
That's what it feels like. Yeah. That's what it feels like. And it feels like we need to do, and Castleberry's got a good one here, have to do the unexpected, be unpredictable. I think that's part of it. We've been preaching that for like years now. People need to stop doing the same old stuff. I'm going to go cast a footprint and beat on this tree with a stick, you know? And then we go, well, why hasn't the topic moved in decades at this point? What's because we've been doing the same stuff for decades. We need to start doing new stuff. We need to start trying new things. We need to approach this like the Sasquatch appear to be approaching it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they're getting ahead. They're way ahead of us.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know,
and you know, I don't know, was it the first show of the year or was it the last show of the year? But at the very end of it, I made a declaration of war. Declaration of total war. And I'm committing to that. You know, Gary Nolan in 2016 put a flag in the sand when it came to UAP and UFO research and how we discussed the topic and how the topic was approached and how it was going to be perceived by the public at large. It was a joke. Mm-hmm. But between then and now, there have been just so many strides in professionalizing the topic. And I think it's high time that the Bigfoot topic has its professionalization.
Well,
that has to come through. It has to. And I don't mean someone who has a doctorate, who is an actor, gets hired on a TV show, and now we've professionalized the field. Someone who has no interest in Bigfoot, does not do any sort of Bigfoot investigations or research on the side. They're hired as an actor. I think that we need to, the citizen scientists, as much as you hate that word as well, need to take this seriously and need to professionalize themselves in it.
Well, I think what's happened is that no established discipline, like scientific discipline, is perfectly suited for this.
No.
Okay. And there was a guy like, I don't know, like a year or so ago that had a doctorate that was trying to explain how we needed to go about proving Bigfoot was there. And it was the biggest load of nonsense I've ever heard in my entire life. And I'm going, what are you going to prove with this? This is not going to prove Bigfoot's there. It's just like casting footprints. Casting footprints becomes the end goal for a lot of people. It's not really, at the end of the day, finding what made the footprint. All right, there's the footprint. How about you follow what made the footprint?
I just see a madman in a hole with shelves full of footprints. I have them all.
Well, and that's the thing, is that casting materials are bulky and they're heavy, and then people will find the footprint and that just stops. This is their day now. They're going to cast this footprint and come back with the footprint. Screw a bunch of footprints. I don't care if another footprint ever gets casted again forever. You know what I'm saying? I just don't care. Follow what made the footprint. Okay.
Give me more of those butt prints. You remember that butt print?
Yeah, that butt print was good. So
where are the butt prints?
But
where are the bones? Where are the butt prints? Tell me that, Joseph Doyle. Answer that question, Mr. Bigfoot Man.
So, but I think that I think if established methodologies were going to prove this, they would have proved it by now.
Uh-huh.
And I think that we need to just start being, like we always talk about, be very holistic. Draw stuff from, and it's a weird analogy. This is kind of a crappy analogy. I almost don't want to make this analogy.
Give us the crappy
I'm going to give you the crappy analogy. Bruce Lee made a really big impact on martial arts with Jeet Kune Do because he was pulling stuff from different like disciplines. And now MMA is like a huge thing because it pulls what works from every martial art.
Really refines it.
And just pulls what works and discards everything else. And I think that's what we need to do for Bigfoot research. We need to be using folklore, the biological sciences, tracking, technology, everything like that. We don't need to approach it like a traditional wildlife biologist because you're going to fail.
Yeah.
You're not trying to find a badger or like, you know what I'm saying, or track like a coyote. It's something completely unique, and you need completely unique methodologies and practices to do. And we've got to discard a lot of the stuff that people have been doing since Roger Patterson and Bob Gimlin filmed, that thing.
That's like asking a plumber to repair a pipe organ. There's pipes there.
Pipes there. I should be able to do it.
Wrong pipes, bro. Wrong pipes.
But it is, I want to just bring this up real quick. It's totally out of left field right now, but it's such a Philip Payne comment. Has anyone considered giant arachnids inhabiting the LBL at all?
We're getting into the Wild Wild West territory.
I would not go to the LBL if I thought that there were giant spiders.
That'd be a hard no for me.
That would be a hard no for me as well. I draw the line at giant spiders. But I think that's the thing, is that we need to start to do that. And here's the deal. Nobody's going to do that. We're not ever going to get, there's no Bigfoot community. There's dozens or hundreds of smaller communities that all happen to be interested in something called Bigfoot.
We're all warring factions.
But I think that if nothing else, that's what we need to do.
And that's what we are attempting to do.
But I think we need to ramp it up even more.
You're doing a good job.
I'm doing a real good job.
You're doing a really good job.
I'm doing a good job, Joe.
You might be the most holistic Bigfooter I've ever seen.
Well, it's just that
today.
I think it was Booberry asked me, because I made some comment and he was just like, hey, do you think there's anybody out there that like thinks like you? And I just went, well, first off, I said, I'm going to sound like an egotistical jerk saying this, but I was like, I'm not that bright of a guy, but I'm inquisitive and I'm curious, and we're both crazy people. Yeah. We're obsessive, and I am okay with coming across stupid and saying, I don't know something. Please educate me on this. And we spend a lot of our day just bouncing around from weird topic to weird topic to weird topic, because I wake up every day just going, man, there's so much we don't know about this and stuff that we think is important to this. And I think in this field, a lot of times it's more important for people to come across as knowledgeable and
the grand old man.
Yeah, of Bigfootery. And I think we need less of that. I think we need more people.
We need humility in it too. Oh
no, I'm pompous as all get out. That ain't happening. We need people that are not afraid to go, I feel like an idiot with this, and we need to try to like feel like less like idiots. I need to learn a bunch of stuff. Will this help me? Okay, maybe that won't help me. Will this help me? Let me learn about this. Maybe that won't help me. But we need to be doing that and not just, repeating stuff that we've heard on like podcasts. So we've heard other people tell us, we don't have any personal experience with it. I think we need to just start getting really big on that unpredictability, like Cryptid Castleberry brought up. Yeah, this maybe doesn't make sense. We're going to try it anyway and see if it works. The stuff that seemed to make sense doesn't appear to be getting us many results here at this point.
With that being said, and the abandonment of these Bigfoot hunting tropes, let's hear a Joe whoop.
Whoop.
Did it work?
Whoop.
Yeah. That's not working.
It's not working.
But Reverend PC, it's sad the cryptid communities that's never going to happen. Too many.
It worked.
There's too many. There's very little that's provable in this. And that's just the way it is. So therefore people can kind of put their own spin on it. And, you get 10 people that are into Bigfoot, you're probably going to get 9 different theories. And that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But one of the things I'm going to bring up though, is it's okay to disagree with people on this topic and still be like friends with them and get along with them.
And that goes for anything.
And even like collaborate with them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think that would be insanely beneficial to collaborate with somebody who has a totally different opinion about what's going on in a constructive manner and a non-hostile manner, to collaborate with them. And, maybe you could glean a few things from them and they could glean a few things from you.
Well, I think that it is
grown-ass man with a plan. Grown-ass man with a plan.
We think MK Davis is cool as hell. You know what I'm saying? That's all there is to it. Everybody's got a problem with that. I don't know what to tell you. MK Davis is cool as hell.
I have
Davis,
some questions about that Bluff Creek massacre.
I don't
story.
agree with him on every single point. That doesn't invalidate him
at the
as
same
a
time,
person.
He's one of the most intelligent people I've ever spoken to.
I have a problem where when I meet people, that's one of the downsides of us getting like a higher profile, is we'll meet people that have been in the public eye longer than us, and it's a letdown sometimes. Sometimes you realize they're not even really that into Bigfoot. It's just kind of their gig, it's how they're paying the light bill.
Yeah. And you're like, oh,
when have you ever seen me like dumbfounded, like talking to somebody ever? Other than MK Davis. I was just sitting there going,
tell me more.
And I don't agree with MK Davis on everything. MK Davis is cool as hell. I don't know if MK Davis is a highly intelligent guy, and you don't need to agree with people on every single aspect of this. And disagreeing with somebody on a point of contention and making that like a Bigfoot blood feud. It's stupid. You know what I'm saying? It's very stupid. And it's just, again, it should just be, we should be kind of glad that people are trying different things. And, because I don't think anybody's got a real grasp on it right now. I think as much as we're like into this and the patterns we're starting to recognize, we don't have a real good grasp on it,
And I feel like our grasp is getting looser.
Yeah, it's just,
we go on.
Anyway.
Our grasp on reality, Bigfoot, sanity.
But, all right, let's see what else we got here.
Moondog says, we're a great team.
Thank you, Moondog.
I just want to, let me throw a little shout out here to Mr. Joe Doyle.
Go ahead, shout.
Time for some grown-ass man praise. I think that you and I definitely have an advantage in what we do because we are a married couple. We spend all of our time together when we're not at work. And you and I have excellent discussions into this, and we work together on this. And I have skill sets that you don't have. You have skill sets that I don't have. And I think we're very complementary of each other. And I think that over these past few years of us really hammering at this, we've become somewhat of a powerhouse.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why we knew MK was fitting in well with us, is that
other MK, not Davis.
I'll say MK Davis would probably fit in with us.
You want to replace MK Ultra with MK Davis?
Oh, damn. Oh, Jesus. But MK Ultra is that he's physical in the woods. He's crazy. He's a crazy person. But we
physically capable of doing
because we all got into like an argument during the Sumter investigation. And then like a half hour later, we're all hugging each other. You know what I'm saying? You know, we didn't allow, but there's so many fragile egos with this stuff that if you have a disagreement with somebody, that's over and done with. You're now at the beginning of a 50-year fight with this person. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's what you need.
And we all came back from the McMuffin meltdown that morning.
The McMuffin meltdown this morning. God, you guys do piss me off when you do that, though. I'm driving, I'm going crazy, and y'all are dancing, laughing at me. I'm the equipment guy, so I have to keep everything charged, SD cards, clean everything. What are we going to use today? What are we going to use tonight? Are we coming back to change gear out, or do I need to take all of this with me? Do I need spare batteries? What do we need for this? Are the flashlights all charged up? What about the headlamps? And I'm doing all that, and I'm running it off battery banks and a jackery and everything like that. And they're eating peanuts, laughing at me, dancing. It pissed me off like you'd never believe. I came so close to just telling both you guys to F off and just jumping in the truck and leaving you out there. Those damn things will eat you anyway. Trying to light.
There is one point when Joe, like MK and I are standing next to each other, and Joe's walking from the woods towards us, and we're standing there. And we're like, "Hey, Joe! Hey, Joe!" And I was like, "Oh my God, this looks like poor Joe's like dealing with Tweedledee and Tweedledum here."
Good Lord. Anyway, but I think that's more the thing is that you need to be able to do this with people that you can disagree with, and that you can even go, I don't think that's what's going on, but I respect you. Let's try it your way for a little while and see what we get, you know, because I think that's one of the things that really hinders the search for this. Laziness is what really hinders the search for this. Like I was looking at myself earlier and I'm like, damn, I look tired right now. You know, I look tired.
That haircut's on point.
My haircut is on point, but we don't need well-rested Bigfooters. I'm not trusting anybody that looks too well-rested nowadays.
That was the most boomer thing I've ever heard.
Anyway.
If you're not early, you're late.
But I think that that's what we need is we need more people that are willing to like work together and put the effort in and not agree with each other all the time.
And don't be a dick ball.
Don't be a jerk, you know? So.
Although we're kind of jerks sometimes.
We are kind of.
But it's well deserved.
Yeah.
If we're mean to you, you deserve it.
Yeah. So anyway, let's see what the chat's got. We're down to 25 minutes. Let's see what you guys think about what we're talking about here.
So our baseball team, the Hellbent baseball team, we're the Banana Town Boombox Turtles. That's our baseball team. So when we play baseball against
that's going to happen
against the other Bigfoot people, the Banana Town Boombox Turtles are
is the Hellbent Holler community going to like play like the BFRO and like softball? Yes. All of our people will show up drunk.
Yes. Scorpius has already like put mines in the field. Don't step over there.
Just try to stay off third base if you know what's good for you. So that's the other thing too, is that
this is like a nice airing of grievances episode.
It is a nice airing.
I like those. I think those are fun.
But that's the other thing too, is that we need people to take this like seriously. I mean, what a time to be alive, man. If you just like, if you know, like you want to hear me, I'll even sound more boomery. Cut out the Starbucks and the what is it? The
over my dead body.
No, what is the thing that they always like say that you eat? The toast with the
avocado
toast
from my cold dead hands.
And with like a credit card and an Amazon account, you can get equipped to a level that you couldn't imagine, like even 10 years ago. And you can get on the internet and find out how to use it properly, you know?
Yeah.
Or you can very easily find an expert in that and go, hey, I notice you seem to be very knowledgeable about this particular thing. Like we've asked Matt Larson, Central Florida Bigfoot, who's now Central Kentucky Bigfoot,
yes,
stuff on photography and videography before.
Yeah, I think he prefers to be called the researcher formerly known as.
Yeah. And it's okay to like seek out those experts because it's so easy to do nowadays, man. World Wide Web, baby. The internet's wave of the future. So, all right. So let's see what else we got here.
That's www.
But it
this is like the Bigfoot Boomer Bummer Hour.
I'm telling you, man. So Boombox Turtle really took off, man.
Morgantown Murder Slugs.
I love it when I
added. Was that y'all's team?
The Morgantown Murder Slugs.
Sweet. The Boombox. Man, the Banana Town Boombox Turtles are gonna get that win this year.
This is the year. So, all right.
I've got another thing from the soundboard. What else do we got? We've got Italian Area 51 jet. And then we've
Okay.
got the Sasquatch, the camera up Sasquatch's ass quote. Which would you like to hear?
What all do you have again? Hold on.
Italian Area 51.
I really
jet.
want to hear the what, but I got to come up with a wild ass theory to do that. Here's a wild ass theory.
Oh, give us one.
Let me give you a wild ass theory.
All right, I
here.
gotta be ready. Now the whoop didn't. Let's
Maybe
do a test.
the
I gotta run the test. All right, everything's
Wait,
working.
play that again.
That's your whoop.
Oh no, I don't want the whoop. I want the what.
That's me running a test.
All right. Well, we know the whoop works. We don't know if the what works.
Well, throw it out there. See if
Anyway,
you can get a
so
win.
maybe the answer to the question I posed earlier is, how do they know? I understand how they can figure out what a rifle is and how it works and to avoid that. But why do they appear to have a knowledge that the presence of cameras or audio recording equipment is a bad thing for them?
Do you have a theory on this?
Well, mind speak is apparently a thing. Maybe there is some sort of gleaning of information from us mentally that they are going, I don't fully understand this, but they want to capture images of me on this box. And that would ultimately be bad for me because they want to take these images back and show them to more of their kind. Can't let that happen.
So this is non-consensual data mining from my brain.
That is basically, have we not both had intrusive thoughts before that did not seem like they were, at least what I heard that day was not like a warm, fuzzy thing. It was just something that was thrust into my head against my will. It was an intrusive thought that wasn't in my own normal inner monologue voice. And that's when I just went, we're going to die out here when we were in the Grove that time. And I was like, we're going to eventually die out here doing this. This is just, and something in my head went, oh, we're not going to kill you. We're having too much fun effing with you. But it didn't say effing. It said, it dropped the full F-bomb.
Sometimes I let the intrusive thoughts win. Good ass what, Joe?
What?
Ken Lucas says maybe they can hear them, but how do they understand what they are? How do they know? Because that's what it appears to be, that they're vocalizing when planes are overhead. We can hear it, but the recording, it's running havoc with us trying to isolate good audio and go, hey, something's there making vocalizations. It's crazy. Anyway, see what else we got here.
These are some grown-ass theories.
Those are some grown-ass theories. Ventus Bruma. They might also have seen people replay records in more active areas with more investigators. That's a good one. Have they seen people gather around these? That might be something that it is. They're witnessing people play footage.
What?
They're witnessing people play videos. They're caught, they're witnessing people at camp. They're watching people at camp.
Oh.
They're realizing we have the ability to record images and sound by watching people do that. And they go, well, that ain't good.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what else we got here. Thank you for being a member there. We appreciate the support. Keep us out of the pocket of the Chinese corporate interests.
They're coming for us. Now,
Scorpius has got a good one. Aircraft might be annoying to them, so they have to get louder to communicate at the same time. That might be it. I can just tell you that you go into these areas, and MK, if he's still in the chat, he'll sum it up for you.
I think he is.
Is that you will start to realize you hear vocalizations. And what, Scorpius, actually, now that I'm playing it through, that might be it. Maybe it's something, maybe we're misinterpreting what we're encountering there. That's the thing, is that we're putting a human interpretation and a human spin on something that ain't human. But it's just as smart as we are. Bruce got a lot of good stuff tonight. So noise cover is a lot like vision cover. Snipers know. So anyway.
I'm trying to catch up with the chat. I got so whipped up.
You did get pretty whipped up tonight. You've gotten pretty whipped up.
Whipped up.
So what do you guys think, man? So what do you guys think? JD's got one. That was always, hold on. The aircraft noise is part of the phenomenon.
It's always been.
What?
I got that loud now, boys.
Yeah.
I'll wake you up. Pucker that up.
Reverend's got a thing. I think cryptids have the ability to have a field around them to blur the film or recording. Possibly. I mean, we've had what appeared to be, at least that's the way it seemed to us, targeted equipment issues before.
Mhm.
The one piece of equipment I needed didn't work, and then everything else worked fine. And that's happened a few times. We had that stakeout we tried to set up in the Uwari, where I had all that stuff planned out and everything worked perfectly until the night I tried to deploy it. Batteries were going down, stuff was just turning off, never turning back on, and all of that stuff function tested fine once we got out of there. It's like it was just flexing on me, going, nice plan, Joe. Let's see if we can like mess with it a little bit. So
I think you enjoy, you get very frustrated, but I think you enjoy the challenge. You don't get challenged enough.
I need a little less challenge. Our man Cornbread Corner. If Sasquatch has the ability for critical thinking like you theorize, it would indicate far more intelligent creature than an ape. Oh, I think ape's off the table at this point, man. Thank you for that, buddy. I think ape is off the table. I think that we are dealing with something that, just like Homo sapiens are, when you really get down to it, unlike anything else on the planet, I think we're dealing with another singular species that might be bipedal. It's bipedal. It's got hands. It's got opposable thumbs, binocular vision, whole 9 yards, walks upright at least sometimes. But I think we're dealing with something else that's just like we have our own unique qualities as Homo sapiens. I think we're dealing with another singular species. And I think that it has the ability to recognize that it needs to stay hidden from us for its own good. So, you know what? Here's the deal. Maybe it coexisted with us much earlier on. Like when I say much earlier on, I'm talking like hundreds of thousands of years ago. Maybe it was more open then. And it noticed that, man, there's like 8 or 9 or 10 different types of like upright creature walking around. And this particular one is really good at killing everything else, mankind's a cooperative animal, and we're very good generalists, and maybe it quickly kind of realized as the other types of hominids kind of like disappeared, it went, whoa, it's coming down to us and them, and they're pretty terrifying. We need to kind of stay away from them, or otherwise we're going to disappear too. There you go.
I'm trying to catch up on this. I got some good stuff, Mark. Now, I do want you to, Sue Pal. Our friend Sue Pal. We've had Sue Pal around.
What's up, Sue Pal?
Says, Joe deserves so much respect.
Joe does not get as much respect as he probably deserves.
We'll just start calling you the Rodney Dangerfield of the Bigfoot.
Philip says, our buddy Philip says that Nessie hunters have particularly amusing, vicious feuds. That I would actually like to
I'm
observe.
interested in that.
I'm interested in that. A good Nessie feud. I bet those are like
knockdown, drag out.
Because some of the Bigfoot feuds get pretty crazy. You know what I'm saying?
They used to get real crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the YouTube Bigfoot feuds are crazy, I guess.
That's craziness, man.
But
so,
you've not had a good serious feud. You know what was real fun.
What was that?
Let's talk about something that was real fun.
We're
going
fun?
to take a walk down memory lane.
Take me down it.
Joe and I went to the Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Conference a few years ago in attendance, and we had so much fun. Except for the fact that the guy next to me, we had assigned seats. Let's talk about this. We had assigned seats because we bought tickets.
And we weren't famous like we are now.
Yeah.
We're just a couple of nobodies.
We're
in the seats with the commoners. We're not up on stage talking.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
We weren't up there babbling. The guy next to me brought a cooler out and set it on his lap. He opened it up. Guess what was in that cooler? Hot dogs. It was 9:30 in the morning. Multiple hot dogs. He had 4 hot dogs at 9:30 in the morning. Let's talk about that. Let's really address that. Anyway, speaking of feuds.
I think that pretty much encapsulates the Bigfoot.
It was 9:30. He brought his own hot dogs.
All right, just get off the damn hot dog thing. Continue with
So the best part about that whole thing was at the end of the day, Ron Moorhead was on stage, David Paulides, And then various other
that will remain nameless.
Bigfoot researchers and they were Ron, and it was when Ron was real sharp and real freaking just on it, you know. Ron was on one side with David Paulides, and then on the other side was a gang of apers. And we got to see one of the most spicy stage debates.
Well, they were going at it.
Man. We were sitting there like this.
It was supposed to be a round table with all the people that spoke that year, but it ended up being David Paulides and Ron Moorhead versus everybody on that stage. Yeah. And they all just went at it, boy. And it was good.
And Joe and I are just going.
It was real good. It was real good.
It was great.
All right. What else we got here?
What did Bruce say?
He said it was a hot dogs in the morning is a sign of intelligence and credibility. We ought to do a live stream one time and we don't talk. We just let the chat go and just highlight things on the chat.
Just sit here silently and laugh.
Who won? There was.
Oh, David Paulides mocked him.
There was
violent.
There were two people on that stage who are considered intellectuals as far as the Bigfoot topic goes. And they are very flesh and blood. It's an ape. You guys are idiots if you think anything else. Da 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 da. And then you got a couple of the woo dudes up there. You know what I'm saying? And I watched from somebody who has read a book or two, and it's not that I don't think I'm the most unintelligent person in the room sometimes. I may not be the smartest, but I'm sitting there going, man, y'all are really grasping at straws here, and you're claiming to be very scientifically based, but you're butchering science right now.
Just basic stuff.
You're really kind of like your logic doesn't flow. But then I'm listening to David Paulides and Ron Moorhead, and we were just going, I admit it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was brutal though. It was woof.
Keith Miller disagrees with you. Although he goes, I agree on casting footprints. That being said, I want a footprint cast to hang on my wall. Get yourself one there.
Get yourself one. But my thing is that you will quickly learn is that the casting, whether they admit it or not, the casting of the footprint is the end goal.
I just got to get just one
and
more.
I'm just going, I don't really care. You know what I'm saying? I just don't care.
You know what they are.
And that ticks people off. That ticks people off like you wouldn't believe. Why don't you cast these footprints? Because I'm looking for what made the footprint. And it seems like that the footprints go that way. So
I got a derogatory term for them, Joe.
Lay it on me. Lay it on me.
Cast heads. Got any more of them cast?
God almighty.
Cast heads.
Instead of a crackhead, a cast head.
Yes. I replaced crack with cast. Correct.
Well done.
Thank you.
Sue Powell's glad we're famous now. We've been recognized in
a Kroger in Dalton, Georgia.
We were recognized at our Mexican restaurant we go to.
Yes.
We were recognized in Quick Trip one time.
Yes, we were. Yeah, in a quick trip by the coffee tap.
We were in Corpsewood Manor. All right, this is a funny little anecdote that we've shared before. We're all over the damn place tonight. I don't care. We went to the Expedition Bigfoot Museum. Not a single freaking person recognized us at all.
We tried to walk in there like Ric Flair.
And we were rubes. Nobody knew who we were. Nobody cared who we were. What? We go to Corpsewood Manor on that same trip, and we go into the Kroger there.
In Dalton, Georgia. Which is the carpet capital of the world, I'll have you know.
And we go in there, and we're walking because we're going to get some sandwiches to throw in the cooler because we're going to be out in the woods for a few days. And we don't want to just live off freeze-dried food and trail mix. We're going to get some sandwiches to throw in the cooler.
We're out here hunting.
And the lady comes out of the deli, and she stops, and she goes, Joe, Jesse? And we go, yeah. And she goes, oh my God, it's Hellbent Holler. And I'm going, holy crap, we're getting recognized in the deli section in Kroger. I think you have those moments in life where you just go, I've made it.
I think that's as far as I want to make it.
I think that's as far as I want to go. So.
Nice lady. Wonderful lady. Gave her a sticker. We took a photo.
Yep.
We did get our sandwiches, if you guys were wondering. I know you were worried.
But anyway.
Miranda Crew, knife check, please.
I've got Jesse's Christmas knife she got me. This is my Christmas present. I wanted a 3V Trailmaster. 3V is a type of super steel. And there was an insane sale when it was like a third of the price it normally is, because there's a reason why I've never gotten one. It's because they're expensive as hell. But and then she got me this very nice custom leather sheath because it comes in a really crappy sheath, which is insane for such an expensive
It's
knife.
a handmade sheath from a guy in the Czech Republic, and it took us
Like
2 months
to get it. And I was super ticked off. And then I got it, and I was like, I can't believe I'm saying this. It was so worth the wait.
Show
But
the blade, sir.
show the blade, sir. So that is my Trailmaster. I got a Cold Steel Trailmaster in 3V. It's my
You gotta do
Christmas
what the
item.
makeup girls do and hold it up and put your hand behind it. There you go.
Is that how makeup goes?
You gotta get it close to the camera and put your hand behind it,
Is
and
that
then
what I
let
gotta
it
do?
gleam.
Let it gleam. Look at that
Beautiful.
gleam there,
See?
guys. So anyway.
Today for knife check, Joe got me this cool knife. I wanted kind of a smaller kind of version of that, just a good little companion piece to his, because we like to kind of go matchy a little bit. This is not like a big brand name or anything like that, but it's a really cool knife. It's got a Kydex sheath here, but it's got a cool little leather, little keeper boy here. But what's really cool about this guy is, look at that thing. It's just like a perfect little black blade. You got dragon scale carvings on your G10, which is pretty cool. Brass little ring there. It's cool. Love it. This is my just little banger in the woods. I think it's neat. Love it. Thanks, Joe.
You're welcome.
All right. Next. Get off your phone, Joe. We got a show we're doing here. We're about done with it. We're going to go eat some chili.
We are going to
Chili
go
night.
night.
I made a big chili. I've not made food for us in a while because I've been editing for 10 hours a day for the past week. But all right, I'm going to go through the chat here, and we're going to wrap this up in a second because it's cold, tired, and we're going to get this going. Hot dog guy, make friends with him. Yeah. So I'm going to go down here. Babe?
Hold on, I'm looking at something.
What happened?
I'm looking at something. So anyway,
You just checked out on me.
I checked out on you. So anyway,
You're over here eating candy in the middle of
it's
this.
a cough drop. My throat is sore. So anyway, all right. So we're going to wrap this up here in a minute because we're going to go eat. Hold on. Philip has given us some more insight into this. Nessie feuds include bricks through rival Nessie hunters' windows, also anonymous hate mail. We have had somebody who was going to come chop us up.
Yeah, for
Somebody-
being lib scumbag, pagan lib
scumbags.
Yeah.
We had that LBL hoaxer dude was going to send people to the house to straighten you out.
Yeah.
We have had we've had a lot of weird stuff, man. What sort of hobby have we gotten ourselves involved in here, for God's sakes?
I don't think it's a hobby at this point.
Exactly. So
It's a lifestyle. It's a life choice.
a love choice. Anyway,
I said a life choice.
oh, a life choice.
You're
So
my love choice. All right. I say we wrap it up.
we were wrapping it up.
We're going to wrap it up. Thank you, guys. I'm going to look through the chat. I'm trying to get through the chat. Joe's already mentally checked out on us. He's left us. I'm going to throw a Nessie brick through his window next.
All right. Let's see.
Probably from a late night infomercial, 250 knives for $50 or something like that. 250 knives.
Let's get rid of that person.
Bye,
I don't
buddy.
like I'm making fun of Cold Steel. Cold Steel's good.
Bye, buddy.
So anyway, all right, we're gonna wrap this up. We're gonna go eat. I don't know when y'all are gonna see us again. Depending on how this weather goes.
That's ominous.
It is ominous. We had an investigation.
Jesse and Joe Bitcoin coming up.
We had an investigation.
We are the predators, you know.
Yeah, we had an investigation plan for this weekend. We don't know if that's going to happen now with this weather or not. We don't know if Jessie is going to be able to do her solo show. We don't know if we're going to be able to do the next Tuesday night show. We just don't know because Ice Armageddon's on its way.
Yeah.
So we don't
Hope
know what's
you're
going to happen with
prepared.
them. So we are going to pay attention to it. We're going to see what's up. We'll keep you guys posted. If I can, I don't know. We got the Starlink.
We've got a lot of prep we got to do, and
We got to do a lot of storm prep. Man. So yeah, but anyway,
I get to go battle crazy people for propane tomorrow because I want to get a little extra propane.
mhm.
But yeah, so I just want to thank you guys for joining us on the show. You guys are always the best. I had a lot of fun, and I think that's what matters.
Indeed.
I think that's the only thing that matters is that I had fun along the way. Do you want to hear anything off the soundboard before we
give him a screaming man to take us out?
I want an Italian Area 51 jet.
He's a jet.
Area 51 jet. What the fuck was that?
And we're out.
Bye, guys. Have a great night. Stay warm. Stay safe. Don't eat anybody before it's absolutely necessary. Because there is going to be an end to the storm. The ice will melt and you will face consequences for your cannibalism. All right, take care of yourselves and take care of each other. Good night from the Hellbent Holler crew. Box turtles, boombox turtles for life, baby. Boombox turtles for life. Banana Town boombox turtles. We're getting the pennant this year, kids. Good night.